Welcome to In Between Podcast with your hosts, Sarah and Celeste. From the challenges that test our resolve to the moments that fill us with joy, come grow with us in life's in between. Last week, if you were tuning in, we talked about our birth stories and everything that went in with that. So if you didn't watch it, please be sure to tune in and listen to that. This week, we're going to be talking about postpartum. Yes. And the challenges or like what it was like for us. Mm-hmm. And I think it can be just like not many people talk about it, in my opinion, mm-hmm. Or don't recognize it as an actual struggle. Yeah. But it is, because you were given this baby and it's like, okay, go home. Yeah. We're not going to give you any advice. Just don't shake the baby. Yeah. Right? That's a big thing. But
and don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Put the baby down when you fall asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like, okay, like, then what? You know? And so all these unanswered questions, who do we go to? Like, do we go to the internet? Do we go to our parents? Do we, like, who? And it's been, 20 years since our parents. So they're like, do they even remember? Yeah. So, I don't know, all these questions. And so we just thought it would be important to talk about this and to know that you're not alone,
in your postpartum journey.
In your postpartum journey, your struggles, your all the in between. Yeah. So, if you wanted to just touch on right after, like, getting home and then
honestly, the newborn phase went by really fast, but there was a lot going on.
I was about to say fast and slow.
Yeah, fast and slow. But I will say, like, to anybody that's going into their postpartum season, like mm-hmm. you're about to have your baby, like I said in the last video, I researched a lot about labor and delivery and stuff, and I did not research about postpartum. Okay. I did not, like, I've heard about postpartum depression, I've heard about, like, hormones being off and stuff. Yeah. But I did not really understand the intensity of it. And I did not understand, like, how much becoming a mom, like, totally rewires your brain and, like, how you think. Yeah. And it was very difficult trying to navigate that.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely more aware of everything. Yeah. Because, like, you have this baby and it's like, I have to take care of the baby. But in every aspect, like, you're not only just thinking about yourself and your husband, you like have a whole nother person.
Kind of like, my husband can think for himself. I'm just taking care of this baby. And honestly, you put yourself on the back burner too. Yeah. And you don't even take care of yourself. Like, there are several times that, like, it was like 3:00 and I was like, I haven't even eaten today. Yeah. And it feels like it should be like 9:00 in the morning. Right. But somehow newborn time gets mixed in there.
The schedule is intense.
What the heck? It's 3:00 and I haven't eaten? Yeah. But I will say to anybody going into it, make sure that you wipe your schedule clean. I did not do that, and I regret it because the newborn phase went by so fast that I didn't really get to enjoy it. Yeah. When I could have. Yeah. Because my dog had puppies a week after my son was born. Yeah. And then it was the holidays. And then also my husband and I found out we were moving 2 weeks before I gave birth. Or like 3 weeks before I gave birth.
But I feel like that stuff's almost like you can't, I mean, maybe the dog thing, you could, like, not do that. Yeah. But, like, the moving thing and then the holidays, like, it's just, we just had a really holiday-filled time, and it's like, do we bring our kids out or do we not, you know? But it's like, you want to, but you don't want to. So it's all these emotions and things.
Yeah. I had all that, and then I also was trying to breastfeed. My son had a tongue tie. We got that fixed. And then I got mastitis. And then 2 weeks later, we got the flu. And then 2 weeks later after that, he got thrush. So it was literally like
one thing
after another. And if you've never had mastitis, it's worse than the flu. So I was like,
I remember
wiped.
I remember you having that.
Yeah.
I was like, Celeste, are you okay?
When I was running like 102 fever, and my husband had to work, and so
you could get in the hospital for that. Didn't you go? No, you didn't
no.
go. Okay.
You can go to the hospital with mastitis, but yeah. And so I was like sick as a dog, like trying to take care of my kid, trying to nurse while that pain's going on. It was very intense, and I wish that I would have been able to like step back a little bit more and enjoy it a little bit more.
Well, so like I said a minute ago, all those things are just kind of like
life.
Yeah,
it wasn't really like getting mastitis, the flu, or thrush.
Yeah, that is so intense.
Yeah.
Was your mind like guilty that you weren't like there, but you were there, but it was just like so much going on? Like mom guilt kind of deal.
Yeah, it's kind of more like I just don't remember it. Like I think back on it and I'm like, I do not remember this.
Or like I can't believe that all that happened in those short amount of times where I'm supposed to be, you know, having the best time with my son, and it's like a lot of the stuff's going on.
Trying to enjoy it, but then like you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really remember his first 2 months.
So I say though, like, my memory's not great, but I know we got sick in January, and so that would have been at the 2 month mark, but the two, like, coming home, and, you know, just, he slept a lot, and, like, ate a lot, obviously, like, every 2 hours at the time, so it wasn't a whole lot going on, and just, like, I have a, she would have been 2, she was 20 months, something like that at the time. So like, as far as like tending to her and tending to him, like that was a whole nother, cause like when she was by herself, it was like easy. Cause like I only had to tend to her, right? But then like the two, it's like, tend to her, tend to him, tend to her. I like really didn't tend for myself for sure at that time. So that was a struggle. Yeah. And like, I don't know, trying to and like put my 100% in him, but also having to give like
100%
to her. So that was like really hard to do that, or to like get used to it.
Would you say like you felt like sometimes you were bonding with him maybe? Because
I would say so.
You couldn't give 100%?
I would say so, because when having just Brindley, like I was bonding with her, only her. Yeah. But my bonding with him was different because I had her, which is not a bad thing. It's just different. And I was expecting like a full bonding moment, you know, or like moments. But he wasn't so like that. Yeah. You know, and I just guess I just didn't expect it to be like that. But I mean, we're still like close, and you know, the bonding was there. It just wasn't as
like what you were used to with your daughter.
Right. It's different. And I want it to be the same. Like I want to give him like all the bonding too, but it just is not the same, and that's just okay. Yeah. It had to be okay, but
I mean, you can't detach from your daughter,
right?
And then give
you're right.
Like you gotta share it.
Yeah.
You gotta share it.
I know. It is hard to do that. But I would say that was good. Mentally, I will say that like even at maybe mid-pregnancy, so like 6 month mark, 3rd trimester, I guess, things mentally just kind of got like, my anxiety got crazy then. I guess hormone changes and like all that gets a little crazy and you don't really know what's going on. Yeah. Like all these thoughts and like all these things are happening to your body, and just the anxiety, the mental like exhaustion, and just thoughts constantly going through your head. Yeah. Well, that just after having him, it like amped up like more. And I guess it's still like the hormones like go crazy still. Because like everything's going on, even though like you wouldn't think it would.
Yeah.
Because it's like you've already had him. It's over. Like no more craziness. Like, but it's still.
It's really when it ramps up.
Well, yeah, because your lack of sleep. And then,
nutrition.
Like, everything's
you're dirty.
So if you're thinking about having a baby, no, I'm just kidding. But really though, like I would say, thought wise, like anxiety wise, maybe at the 4 month of him, like of him being 4 months is when it like kind of is getting back to normal. Like my life is getting back to normal. But like the beginning is like crazy, just like all the thoughts of like, what if?
Yeah.
And like you can't control the what ifs.
No.
It's just random. It could be whatever. Like what if, I don't know, the tree fell on our house, or like what do I need to do? What do I need to plan for? You know, all these things, and like what do I need to do to like not think, like make it, because it would get just so intense that like I didn't know how to control them, I guess, in a sense. And these happened for both pregnancies. Both like when I was pregnant with Brinley postpartum, and then pregnant with Shepherd postpartum.
Would you say like the anxiety like kept you up at night, like thinking about all the what ifs?
Sometimes, and it would happen in my dreams. So it was like I couldn't get away from it. And my dreams can be like crazy sometimes.
Would it cause like your emotions to like go with your what ifs? Like if you went and like, what if he died? You know, and then you're just like depressed or whatever with those kinds of emotions.
Sometimes it depends on how like deep I got into my thoughts. Because most of the time I'd be like, I'd have to force myself to like pray and then be like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Or like, that's not going to happen. I got to stop. Like literally force myself to stop thinking those things. Because it's like, you can't control it.
Yeah.
So, but that was one thing that I did deal with that was hard as far as the anxiety or like just the crazy thoughts, the hormone, like, and not knowing what to do. And it's almost like I didn't want to burden like my husband with it, because it's like happening all the time.
Yeah.
So you're like, I didn't want him to be like, oh, like more thoughts again, or like, are you like, what are you dealing with? You know?
Well, and also it can kind of just seem like you're just a worried mom.
Right.
You know, and kind of people are like, you need to stop stressing out. You know?
It's like, what are you stressed out about? You got this baby.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't
everything
like,
in my head. It's all in here.
Craziness.
Yeah.
And so for anybody out there who has anxiety or just crazy thoughts, like I would say go to prayer, or if go to your husband. Yeah. If that's what you like feel comfortable with, or not like I'm uncomfortable with that. I just feel like a lot of the stuff that I deal with, I can deal with on my own as of like going to God for it. So like I don't want to put that like pressure on him that I don't want him to think that I'm not doing my job or like failing at home. Like like, oh my goodness, she needs me at home, but like I don't.
You're like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, go to work.
Please. But like really though, I don't want him to think that he needs to take off because I'm losing my mind. You know?
Yeah.
Even though I may feel like that sometimes. Yeah. But like prayer and like the continuous being like, that's not true.
Well, and I think too, there's a line with postpartum, and I'm happy you kind of brought it up of like, what should I tell people that I'm dealing with postpartum? Like, what's something that like I can take healthy steps and deal with this like on my own?
Right.
And I feel like there has to be some kind of line, and you kind of have to like understand like, hey, this is not a normal thought process. Like, I actually need to go and tell my husband like I'm having these thoughts and I'm having these issues. Or I'm going down these rabbit holes of depression. Yeah. You know, or I'm going down these rabbit holes of anxiety, and it's causing me to have anxiety attacks and stuff. And those are not normal. Obviously, they're not normal. But you actually need to reach out and ask for help.
Yes.
And I think there is a line, and also a stigmatism of like, just a worried mom, or, oh, you just haven't slept enough. Oh, let me just hold the baby for you so you can do your laundry. And it's like, I don't need to do my laundry. Like, I need to hold my baby. You know?
Right. I need these thoughts to go away, and I need to hold my baby, and then I need everything else to be clean without me doing it. So you can go clean in my room or whatever.
Yeah. I will say to anybody who's like a helper during, like if you're mother-in-law, mother, or spouse or whatever, and you're watching somebody go through postpartum, just help. And when I say help, I mean, don't hold the baby. Okay? Like, unless if the mom says, I need you to hold my baby.
Right, I can go shower.
You can hold the baby, okay? She doesn't need help holding the baby unless if she asks for it. She needs help doing the dishes. She needs help just vacuuming the floors. She needs
just
help
getting the house in order, really.
Yeah, she needs help.
Because it's falling apart.
And also, one big thing for me was eating. I would just neglect myself. And people would bring over food, and I would wait till like the last minute to eat. Well, by the time people brought food, which was amazing, and I really appreciated it. And I visited with those people, and they held my baby while they were visiting. But I didn't eat while they were visiting, and then they would hand me back my baby, and then it was time for me to eat. Well, by the time they handed me back him, it was time for him to eat. And then I never ate. And so, it's
just a cycle.
It happened like 10 times. So if you bring food to somebody going through postpartum, don't just bring it. Fix it for them. They can sit down and eat it.
Encourage them to eat.
Yes, because I did not. And then I would put myself further on the back burner. And then it got to a point where I wasn't producing enough milk because I was trying to breastfeed, because I wasn't eating and drinking like I should have been.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to take care of my son. And as a mom, like, you're like, oh, I'll deal with myself later.
Right.
But when you're going through postpartum, you really need to take care of the baby and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mentally.
Yes.
Physically. All the
leaves.
All the leaves.
Yeah, you need to be able to take a shower and be clean.
Yes.
You need to be able to eat.
Yes.
And you need to sometimes be able to sleep. I was never able to sleep without my son. Like, people would come over and be like, let me hold him while you sleep. And I just mentally could not do that. I wanted him beside me or like in his bassinet in order for me to sleep. So I couldn't do that. I would sleep better with him there with me. But I was able to get a shower without knowing he's screaming and crying or that sort of thing. So definitely help the person in other areas. Like, help that mom know that she needs to take care of herself and help her take care of herself, because she's pouring all of her energy into her baby. Yeah. And she needs energy poured into her.
Right, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that there's just a lot that is looked over as far as postpartum, and not even like just the depression, just like recognizing the mom too, because everybody wants to come and see the baby, and you're like, that's so great because the baby's new and everything, right? But like, nobody really cares about you anymore. And like, I don't know, that just kind of like, it just rubbed me the wrong way, I guess. And like, it's still sometimes like that. Like, no one really asks about me. Like, how are you doing? Yeah. Like, I know that's a lot that you went through, but how are you doing? Yeah. Not necessarily, like, I want you to check on my baby too, but like, really checking on me and like really being like intentional about it.
You need.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because you don't get that a lot. It's not really about you anymore. No. So, and I'm not saying that like to be selfish, like me. I want you to pay attention to me. Yeah. But like, you need to be pampered too. Yeah.
You need to be pampered some. And because you're taking care of that child, and
just, I guess it's just being so like tired and like drawn out. I just want to feel like loved again. Cause like going through all that, like being pregnant, like you don't look like yourself. You're not really acting like your normal self. And still with postpartum, it's like the same. I don't look like myself. Like I'm trying to bounce back, but like I'm so tired. I'm like going backwards actually. And so like I don't know, just for people out there that like feel that way, I feel you, and like you are seen, and especially like if you don't feel as loved, like get your husbands to be like extra encouraging, I guess, or like just communicate with him and like ask him to say those things to you, or you know.
And I think it's hard when you're going through it. Like you're saying, like ask him. I couldn't tell anybody what I really needed. I didn't really know what I really needed.
That's true too, yeah.
And so it was just kind of like this juggling act of like, do I just need sleep? Do I just need food?
Like what is wrong with me?
I just need a shower, you know?
Yeah.
But then you get the shower, you get the food, you get the sleep, and then you're just like, I still don't feel myself. I still know what's going on. Yeah. And also, I mean, you're dealing with postpartum bleeding, and if you tore, I mean, you're still dealing with that too.
Yeah.
And so you're still in pain.
Yeah.
Your body's recovering from carrying a child for 9 months. Like, you're not moving the same way you usually move.
You can't pick up anything.
Yeah, you're not supposed to pick up anything, especially if you have a C-section. Yeah, so it's really difficult to even really know what you need during postpartum. And it's like, do I need a shower? Do I need food? Do I need to sleep? And then it's like you get all that, and then like you still don't feel the same.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to communicate to another person, like, what do I need? Because you really don't know. You really don't know. No. So I would say to the people around you, and one thing my sister-in-law told me, she was like, if somebody says, let me do your dishes, your answer is, yes, thank you. And then it's like, let me do your laundry, or I'm going to fold your laundry. And he's like, yes, thank you. That's what she kept telling me. She was like, if anybody wants to do anything for you, you say yes and thank you. And so I really tried to do that, and I am thankful for the people that did like try to help me out. And it was really hard for me to like let go and like allow people to take care of me.
Yeah. Because
I was kind of like, why can't I do all this?
Right.
Like, I'm the mom, I'm the wife.
You're supposed to be doing it, right? That's...
Yeah, and in my mind, I was like, it should be easy. I've been doing laundry for how many years? Like, and you just add a kid on top of it. Like, I should be able to do it. But I couldn't. Like, I couldn't even think about the laundry. Like, it sat in the wash. I don't know how long. I think
like, keep rewashing.
Rewash. I rewashed it like 5 times, you know? Yeah. And so I needed somebody to be like, hey, like, let me do your dishes. Let me do this for you. Like, let me take care of you. So if you have somebody in your life, like I said, they don't need help holding their baby. They need help taking care of themselves.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that. And I think it took me to get on a routine. Took me a little bit, like a few months. Obviously, we're just in the 6th month, but like, you know, of getting the routine of like feeding my first child, obviously feeding my second child every 2 hours of the day, like and then taking care of myself and working, because after the 6 weeks, started working again. So it's like, and then cleaning the house and doing literally all the things, I think, and still kind of in like a fog. Yeah. Of just like, just doing the things over and over again. And so my days just kept looking the same. And like, I don't know. I think coming out of the fog probably happened around 5 months until like up to now. And I just now feel like, well, time has flown, number one. Yes. Our babies are 6 months. Daniel today, and then Shepherd will be on Monday. So we've come a long way. Yeah. And in a good way, I think we're at a good place, or I'm at a good place. Headspace is good.
Yeah.
That probably stopped around 3 months maybe, because I was sick at month 2 with COVID. We all have COVID.
Oh yeah.
And like that was a horrible experience. I never want to have that with the 2-month-old again.
Yeah.
And then just like, I don't know, just coming out of that, I was like, finally it's over, and like hopefully won't get any more sicknesses, which we didn't. And so after those months, I think it just started getting easier, easier. I don't know about that, but like better.
Yeah.
More consistent, and I knew how the day was going to go.
Well, and also you kind of are more out of the newborn stage at that point, too.
Right.
Like you have a 3-month-old, which, I mean, they're still very much baby.
Right, but you know their routine better, and like what to expect. You know their cries, you know when they're hungry, like, you know when they're sleepy.
Yeah. I think the anxiety of the newborn stage, because Daniel, he was very colicky, and he would just cry and cry and cry, and I just didn't understand like what he needed, like, and I mean he's kind of colicky, so there's really nothing I could do for him.
Right.
But I felt really helpless a lot of the time because I was like I can't get you to go to sleep. I can't get you to stop crying, you know? And I would just sit there and pat forever and be crying too. And I was like, I don't know what to do for him, you know? And once he kind of got a little older, he got a little bit more out of that. And I felt like I could breathe again around the 3-month mark, because those days were very intense. And he actually started like being a happy kid around that point. And we were crying all the time.
Would you say now that you're kind of like back to normal, or like kind of just out of the fog? Because I wouldn't say I'm like back to my normal self necessarily, but just
well, I think we're a new normal.
Yeah.
You know?
I see that.
I don't think we'll ever really feel like we went back to before when we had.
Sure. I mean, should we go back to that?
Yeah.
Because
I
like
think so.
We have a new baby, so like we should be different.
Yeah.
Or we shouldn't be longing for that old self, because that old self didn't have our baby, you know? So maybe we just shouldn't
be different. Like we should be different.
Yeah.
We should be different.
I'm with you on that. That's a good thought.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it like that. Because every like culture is like, you gotta get back to that. We've gotta work out and get back to what our old self looked like.
Yeah.
But like, why are we doing that? You know?
Like, I'm a mom. Like,
I'm a mom
I will
now.
never look like I did before.
And that's okay. I don't think that should be pressure, because things with pressure just like mess up. They pop, and like we don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need stress.
No.
You don't need to
we're
stress out
already
either.
stressed out enough just taking care of a baby and taking care of your household. Like, that adds more life stress. And you gotta navigate that and figure out how to deal with it in healthy ways and find a new normal.
Right.
Find a brand new normal. So yeah, I would say I found my new normal now.
Yeah.
I feel more to myself. One thing my husband sent to me from Jordan Peterson, and his it was one of his talks with, I can't remember the other man's name, but he is recently a dad, and he asked Jordan Peterson what's advice that you would give to a husband. And he was like, give your wife 6 months. He was like, she's going to need to bond with that baby. She's going to pour everything she has into that baby, like she should.
Right.
And he was like, give your wife 6 months. He was like, eventually she'll come back around to you, and she'll start giving you attention again.
She'll recognize that you're there.
Yeah, you've been lonely in a corner, okay? But he was like, give your wife 6 months. And he was like, be there to pour into her, and don't expect anything back, because she's pouring into your baby like she should, and also getting a good attachment with that kid.
Yeah.
And he was like, give her 6 months, and I was like, yeah. And now that I'm at the 6 month mark, I'm like, it really is 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm able to give attention back to my husband, able to give attention back to my other relationships around me. Like, I can breathe again and also still pour into my kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say about 6 months is a good marker of, hey, am I healthy again? Like, am I getting healthy mentally and stuff? And if you're not, go see a doctor, see what your levels are looking like, and figure out.
Just evaluate.
Yeah.
Like what?
Something could be off hormonally. I mean, because you went through this huge change.
Yeah.
Huge change.
Yeah. So if you are going through postpartum or have been through it or going to go through it, like, we see you. If you, like, I don't know, kind of have the same story or, like, want to talk to somebody, reach out to us because we're all for it. Like, we've been through it, so we kind of know what we're doing, I guess, if our hormones are crazy. But like, talk to us and talk to somebody.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you are seen.
Yeah.
And nothing is small or nothing's like, oh, like no big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah. And it should be a big deal.
Yeah. And if you don't even know if something should be normal, like, ask somebody who's gone through postpartum. And to figure out if you need help in other areas or whatever. Yeah. But I would say, too, if you know somebody going through postpartum, remember they need help. Like, remember they need you to pour into them, and you're going to get plenty of time to bond with that baby also. Yeah. And hold that baby. Like, she's not just going to hoard it forever, you know.
And just ask her how her day is going, like, or, like, I don't know, just talk about, like, just different things, like what she's doing, like, in this next couple months. Like, do you have anything planned? Like, just talk to her. Yeah. She needs you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, if you have any advice to give to a postpartum mom or a dad or another family member, please comment it below because we want to hear all the advice that you have for a newly postpartum family. So, till next time, we will see you next week. If you need some positivity on your feed, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Don't miss next week's episode, Monday at 4 p.m. Until then, thanks for listening.